Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Welcome everybody. Today is a special live session Bushaira Alsagoff Talk whereby our student will interview our special guest, Sister Elfaeza a celebrity, social media influencer from Singapore and also a celebrity from Malaysia. Dan hari ini kita akan bersama dengan Irdina dan juga Sister Elfaeza. So kita harapkan anda dapat kongsi di mana beliau akan menceritakan kisah beliau dan juga bagaimana kita boleh spread positivity dalam social media. So tanpa masa kita introduce student kita, Madrasah Alsagoff, Irdina. Apa khabar Irdina?
Alhamdulillah, baik.
Baik. Macam mana pagi ni? Usually what's your schedule for weekend during Ramadan?
Usually just duduk, tengok phone, buat homework.
Okay. So dah share dengan kawan-kawan belum? Your friend nak tengok ni, the live. Dah. Okay, very good. Okay. InsyaAllah today tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, Irdina will take over my place. So she will interview our special guest. So be supportive, give encouragement words dekat komen. Jangan lari. Stay tune. Kita akan share beberapa perkara yang mungkin dapat menarik perhatian anda dalam Ramadan ini. Tanpa membuang masa, insyaAllah saya nak introduce kita punya guest pada hari ini, Sister Elfaeza. Dipersilakan. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Baik, Sis Elfa. Okay,
sihat,
pagi ni.
Alhamdulillah.
This is our first time we meeting. And also kita ucap terima kasih lah kerana dia menyokong usaha Madrasah Alsagoff dalam mengumpulkan dana kutip zakat madrasah dalam pembangunan pendidikan. Just nak share with you lah Elfaeza.
Okay.
Madrasah Alsagoff ni madrasah yang self-funded, partial government, then all girls. And also they are one of the first madrasah yang Apple Apple distinguish so is student diorang banyak savvy lah. So and also Bushaira ni actually is their magazine. So if you guys di luar sana search Bushaira, you can also check out their magazine lah. And also the programs, so some of the programs, the madrasah student program ni dia ada kena-mengena dengan social media juga. So that's why we want to invite you so that you can share your expertise, your experience on how to engage audience, how to build confidence, as a Muslimah, as a woman, as a girl kan. Kadang-kadang macam very nervous, macam Sister Irdina ni dia tengah nervous, dia nak tanya kan. So maybe you can have some tips lah. InsyaAllah nanti along the way I will interject, I will masuk, and kalau macam apa-apa yang I nak tanya, I will insyaAllah I tanyalah yang kat tangan, and then I masuk lah.
Sure.
So
Sorry.
Irdina, your phone tiba-tiba dia ni lah.
Tak, I tak tahu. My camera also
maybe
gitu.
Maybe you keluar dulu. You keluar from the browser and then you masuk balik the link.
Okay.
Okay. So before that I will tanya Sister Elfaeza. So
Sure.
so now macam mana? You dah tak pergi Malaysia balik ke macam mana? Dah border dah buka ni?
Tengah nak plan whether to go back or when to go back. Definitely need to go back because my barang-barang semua ada kat sana and ada urusan yang belum diselesaikan. Tapi to decide kalau nak permanently stay sana semula macam how I used to or not tu belum decide lagi. Sekarang nak masuk ni pun tengok kawan-kawan yang masuk JB pun tak. Kawan-kawan dah masuk JB pun rasa macam bila nak pergi ni. Tapi yalah Ramadan ni banyak lagi benda yang kita nak kena uruskan, and insyaAllah I'll be doing my umrah on the 23rd of this month. So kita banyak benda yang nak kena kelang kabutkan dan selesaikan dan persiapkan diri sebelum kita pergi kan.
Umrah.
So I don't want to think of all those things first. InsyaAllah settlekan umrah dulu, settlekan bulan Ramadan dulu. Then after that uruskan apa-apa yang duniawi insyaAllah.
Masya Allah, Masya Allah. Jadi before this memang you stay dekat Malaysia lah before COVID ni.
Yes.
Okay. So bila bila you are forced to get back masuk Singapore, then sudah stay 2 tahun. So macam now you want to settle dululah macam whatever coming kan. Okay. InsyaAllah kalau pergi umrah doakan kita lah dapat umrah akhir Ramadan sih. Masya Allah.
Doakan kita untuk sampai ke sana dulu. It's like umrah ni dia selagi kita tak sampai tu, selagi tu tak jadi kan. Kita boleh cakap tu sebagai doa. So mudah-mudahan sampai di sana, dan bila sampai di sana kita pun perlukan doa anda semua supaya dapat menjalankan ibadah dengan baik, dapat ujian-ujian di sana tu dapat kita laksanakan dengan sempurna dan dengan sebaik-baiknya lah. Pasal like I've done my umrah sebelum-sebelum ni, tapi itu pun dah challenging. Tapi bukan bulan Ramadan ni, lagi-lagi umrah 10 malam terakhir Ramadan. Allahu Akbar. Mudah-mudahan Allah memudahkan semua urusan insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah. Kita harapkan yang sedang menonton ni dapat aminkan supaya Sister Elfaeza dapat pergilah, dapat belayar dengan semudahnya. Bila sampai sana segalanya dipermudahkan insyaAllah. Amin. Okay, tanpa membuang masa, insyaAllah kita akan persilakan Sister student Madrasah Alsagoff Irdina untuk teruskan berbual. Saya akan ke belakang dan saya akan tengok dari jauh insyaAllah. Silakan Irdina.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. How are you doing Kak Elfa?
Doing good, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So today I'm just going to interview you. Sorry, nervous sikit. Okay, so social media nowadays is like a form of reference to most people. And Masya Allah Kak, your Instagram punya post semua macam positive and Islamic. So I happen to then like these days tak ramai orang yang use their social media platform to spread dakwah. So what motivates you to spread this positivity?
I think it's because macam mana dia banyak factor. Okay, it involves a lot of factors. One, because I believe that whatever skill that Allah has provided you with, you should utilize it to benefit the ummah. And because especially in my line of work, okay, so I was in the media industry, entertainment industry, and entertainment industry is actually can be, and it usually is a very negative industry where it promotes a lot of like negative things lah, that is not Sharia compliant. But it is not the industry that is at fault, it is how people utilize it. Because I believe in everything, if something is created, it is not the fault of the thing, but it is how it's being utilized, it's how it's being used. So for example, a knife can be used to cut things and make life easier, and it can also use to hurt people. So it's the same for the media industry or the social media and all that. So music and everything, it applies to everything. So when I did my hijrah, before when I was in the media industry, we post things to attract people as advertising, to attract people to watch our dramas or to make people like us, because then it affects our work. The more followers I have, the more work I will get, the more advertising of my, it's a cycle, right? But then I realized a lot of my friends or acquaintances in the social media industry, they there's too much negativity, there's too much harmful interactions from the person posting and also the people watching, and then the netizens, they rally things up in a negative way, and I've never been an advocate of that. That you need to always find a positive way to do things. So I decided to not follow what they do, and make sure you only post positive stuff, or do not be overly controversial about the things you do. I think I've never been overly controversial about my work or other things. So I keep, Alhamdulillah, Allah has kept me aligned as much as possible lah. So, and also because I find that the social media platform with the followings that Allah has allowed me to have because of my job, orang akan ikut, kalau setiap benda yang kita lakukan, everything that we do and encourages people to do, we will be accountable to a certain degree to whatever they do. So if I post negative things and then my followers, they start doing the same thing that I do, and in their mind they say like, so Elfaeza can do it, or why can't I? Or if they say, if children go like, they like that post of me terkinja-kinja, for example, then it's I have a link to why they create that dosa. So I'm responsible. So there's a social responsibility to everything that we do. And there's this thing where, for example, zaman-zaman Nabi, right?
Yeah.
Ada Nabi-Nabi yang followers dia cuma 40 orang je. Kita ni dapat ramai sangat, lebih followers daripada Nabi-Nabi. Tapi diorang punya followers 40 orang tu insya-Allah orang-orang yang baik dan follow dengan niat baik. So it's a good thing. But now if I have 120,000 followers that Allah gave me more than Nabi, but not saying that I'm Nabi, but so I have to be responsible to the things that they do. So if I promote negative things, then I am encouraging negative things and dosa to 129 followers. Itu yang follow, yang just never follow but keep watching. So tak nak buat dosa-dosa yang murah-murah macam tu. So it's better to promote good deeds for yourself and for the ummah, and also to protect yourself lah mainly. So that's why I decided to do more good. And it's the best avenue to reach out to people. So that one is fikir pasal bab dosa, right?
Yeah.
So now if you think about the pahala part, it's like, for example, if you encourage people to do good, right? You will get the pahala of the person doing good without discounting their pahala itself. So it is one for one. Dosa you get 1 point, but the pahala you can berlipat kali ganda. It doesn't have to be necessarily 1 for 1. So I find that, what is the smarter option? Hold on, yeah. Sorry. What is the smarter option, right? The smarter option is to utilize something and maximize its benefits. So it's smarter to use this to get more people to do good together with you, and it feels better, alhamdulillah. And that's why it becomes more of an addiction to me to do it this way than any other way, inshallah.
So what are
nak
the
tanya sikit.
Okay.
Sorry, Irina, boleh. Idra tanya tadi. Irina, silakan.
macam what are the challenges you face while trying to macam spread this positivity?
Yes, correct.
Okay, it depends on what kind of positivity, because positivity is also subjective, because it really depends on the state that the individual is in, your viewers, because you have a lot of viewers. I don't know who my viewers are. I don't know what their likes and what their dislikes are, what their political status are, political views are, or Islamic views are. I do not know if they are like me, or they will accept the things that I like. So the challenges are, regardless of your good intentions of how careful it is that you place a certain thing, you will always be met with negative comments. Always, because people are, one thing that you all have to know, people are very, very judgmental. And then they also use this thing of, oh, kita kena tegur, kalau tak tegur nanti kita berdosa. You know, amal ma'ruf nahi munkar thingy, without fully understand what the context is. So that's why netizens are so quick to attack people with the slightest mistake a person makes. So those are the challenges that I face. You know, some people, and then people are at different states of their hijrah. I believe that everybody in this dunya, they are going through their own journey to get closer to Allah. No matter how far they seemingly seem to be, everybody is going in the same direction, whether they know it or not. So they are learning things. They are learning how to handle this social media platform. Social media platform has bridged the gap, or make the gap like a grey area, where people, when they used to not be able to know stuff about you, they think now they know stuff about you, and they have the right to comment certain things without understanding that is the adab of social media and communicating with people are still the same. And a lot of people are treading these waters without knowing how to handle it. And I saw, but there's improvement, but throughout the first few years, I saw that, wow, a lot of people were struggling with it. They were commenting unnecessarily, or, you know, even I was trying to adjust. It's like, is it okay for me to do this? And then everybody, including myself, sometimes we are very finger triggered, or by anything that we see, and we feel this burning to comment and say something. And many a times, I also fall prey to giving my comment on something, instead of just thinking it and feeling it in my heart, or having a conversation with someone else and not addressing. So these are some of the challenges that I face lah. And then of course there are backlashes when I thought there wouldn't be, you know, like it go like, macam, huh? Ni pun orang nak comment, you know. But there will always be. There will always be. But the important thing when you are faced with this kind of challenges, which will be normal and frequent, is to have friends around you, or people around your family around you, to always have your back, or check on whether what you are doing is wrong or right, whether you make a mistake without realizing, because it's very easy to do so. Kejap nak bersin. Okay, tak jadi. So you need a checker. So what I do is I have my checker friends, you know, like certain ustaz friends or certain close friends, and then but we ourselves have to be the one who check what we post first, you know, check our intentions. That is very important. You have to do your self-checking first. When you want to post, although dah post cantik kan, and then before pressing that send, right, that post click, you have to sit down and then check yourself, you know, why am I posting this post? Is it really because I want to benefit the ummah, or is it because of my ego and I want to get likes? Because really, I do face it every single day also. Like, is this necessary? Do I need to post this? Why am I posting this? You know, I have to go through that process a few times before I decide to post it. And then sometimes, even after posting, and then you dah tengok the reaction, and then you self-reflect again. And then you go like, oh no, I'm doing this. Although it seemed as if, because your heart can lie to you, you know, you can lie to yourself. You are the best liar to your own self. So after posting, you self-reflect again, and then you see the reaction, and you go like, no, I didn't do this for the right reasons, although I managed to convince myself that although there is a certain percentage that you're doing it for the right reasons, tapi there's a bigger percentage that you're doing it for your ego or for your satisfaction. So even by doing good deeds, it might not be because of the right reasons, and therefore it's not that great. So if kalau untuk feed your ego, then I will delete it. So it's really about the purification of the heart and controlling your nafs and understanding your ego and killing your ego to not let it take over. So those are, I feel, some of the steps that you should do. And then after that, when you get a backlash and then you really cannot find that it is not your intention, your intentions are right, you know, but why are you facing this and what should you do to solve the situation, then you talk to your friends and you know, what should I do? Kau nampak macam aku post ni macam mengada-ngada sangat ataupun I'm like attention seeking ke apa ke? Do I really reflect to the people that way? If your friends say, actually, you know, a little bit, I understand your intention, but this time round you be off sikit lah. You know, you have to accept it because these are the friends who will correct you when you are wrong, and those are real friends, you know, not friends kata okay apa, you know, tak payahlah, don't ignore them lah. There's always a reason something happened, so you need to understand why. After you understand why, and if it's really not your fault, if it's really that because you cannot satisfy people, there's no way you can puaskan hati semua orang. Okay, the important thing is you post it and make sure you post dengan apa yang you niatkan, your intention, cara dengan yang baik. Dan lepas tu, at the end of the day, you lepaskan. When you know that everything, all those things are set, you are covered in your heart, then let everything be serahkan pada Allah. And even if there are backlashes and bad comments, it is because those people are not in a state of mind or heart or spiritually and all that to receive what you are posting or what you are trying to convey. So just have to be to face all of this. Yeah.
Yep. InsyaAllah.
A bit long.
Thank you, Ridina. Very good question. Before you move forward, I nak just a quick question.
Okay.
Maybe a summary of the tipping point where you hijrah. Macam the moment that the moment of your story lah. A bit lah, sikit ya. I just nak tahu.
No, because a lot of people have, or a lot of people think that most people hijrah have a tipping point.
Tak ada,
As for me, there's never been a tipping point because
okay.
although like I have always been on a journey of hijrah, ever since I was young, although I was doing things, although I was everything, you know, I feel that for me, I was always a seeker of knowledge and I was always finding my path towards Allah. It's just that tak tunjuk, you know. We do it internally. So people may judge me and that's why I'll go like, no, you don't know what I'm going through. And so when I see others who are seemingly on the surface not doing right things, I do not judge because we do not know what is it internally. But there are, you know, I understand there are people who go like, you know, oh, I had a dream and my hair was on fire or stuff like that. I don't have those kind of stories at all. It was like I've always wanted to put on the hijab, but then it was a choice. That was the last thing that I think about. I felt that I need to correct certain things bit by bit internally first, and then when I feel I'm confident enough to don this and stick with it and represent it in the best of ways, then I put it on. And then I think because I always make dua, ya Allah, you know, if you think I'm ready, then bulatkan hati tu tanpa berbolak-balikkan. So there was this moment of time where in that year things were doing good, and then Allah macam sedang woke me up macam it's time, like no more waiting, this is the time, and the feeling is just right, and then there's no way that you can reject it, and then so it happened, so like that lah.
Masya-Allah. Okay. Irina, silakan teruskan.
On your Instagram account, I noticed you ada buat live and like talks about different topics. And in school, our school, we also have activities among schoolmates, one of which is IG live. So knowing that you do this kind of things frequently and you are experienced, could you share some tips with us on how we can produce good contents which able to get engagement with the audience?
I also trying to learn how to get good content. I should be asking you guys, what are the contents that you are interested in, you know? It's a struggle. It's a struggle to produce good content. And good content is also very subjective because what do you measure it by? Okay, so do you measure your good content by the number of viewers, the number of people who like it? Or do you view good content as good content regardless of how people view it or not? Okay, so for me, my benchmark of good content is good content, quality information that is being disseminated, regardless of how many people view me, how many likes I get. So I think as a Muslim, that should be our first priority. Kalau kita dapat lebih likes and lebih views and become viral, then that is secondary. That's a bonus. Alhamdulillah. You know? But we must also have yakin that when we produce good quality informative content, there will be people like-minded who will be attracted to it naturally. So, a lot of people, they are like and followers driven because that gives them the source of revenue. Because the more people like for example YouTube, you'll get the subscribers and you get a certain monetary gain.
Revenue,
Very little, but then you have your revenue. Like other people also, the more popular they are, the more jobs they will get, which is natural. That goes the same for me also. And so they do post contents that might not be tasteful, but then it's content that has thousands and millions of likes. So really, you need to first ask yourself what does good content is, how you measure your good content, and then if you know for certain good content means good information and all that, then it doesn't matter how many likes or how many people view. For me, although I have 129k followers in my Instagram and I solely function on Instagram, whenever I do my live session, I only have about 12 until 50 maximum people who watch me at one time. So, and I'm sure that all of you, if you do the same and then you see 1 and then you go 0, and then the feeling of like macam tak ada orang tengok especially when you do live, you feel like you're talking to yourself, especially when there's no live with two people, you feel like macam you shock sendiri, talk to yourself, and it's a horrible feeling. It's horrible feeling. Like, because we are human beings, so we need recognition to a certain extent, right? We need that feel good feeling. So when a lot more people are watching, you get more and more encouraged, and then you do more. But even a person, so please do bear this in mind, even me, a person who has 129 followers, every single time I do my live, I only get 10 to 50 people watching. I'm not like those who will get 100, 800, 1,000 viewers at one go. Some of my friends do have that, and this, mashallah, that means Allah really gave them that rezeki or that pull factor to engage people. So not everybody direzekikan with that talent of engaging people regardless what they post. Some or what content they talk about. Some of my friends, they post like silly things or cakap benda sikit je, diorang punya views dengan likes laju, So I pun macam kadang-kadang, being a human being, right? So I also macam, what is it that I'm doing wrong and she's doing it right? But then if you keep looking at that, then you'll never move forward, because Allah rezekikan semua orang lain-lain. Doesn't mean what you are doing is not having an impact as much as that person. The likes and the followers does not measure impact, because for example, a movie can be played and then it can be full house, but that does not mean it create the exact impact that you want to all those maybe 300 people watching that movie at that one time. Maybe it will only affect one. So it doesn't mean you have like 1,000 likes as compared to another video. That does not mean the whole 1,000 has received the message and gotten the impact. Okay, maybe that 1 out of 1,000, only one. But maybe for you, you have 10, but all 10 like create a reaction, create keinsafan, or create anything, or they receive it fully, and then they are changed slightly by the single bit by your content. So I have to constantly remind myself this, because yes, the numbers do matter because we are all human beings. But then every single time you have to tell yourself, this is where you go back to the first reason. Why are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? So when you realize that you're doing this lillahi ta'ala, and then for good reasons, so even if you impact one person, it's alhamdulillah. So
Yep.
this is the thing you have to keep reminding yourself, and that will motivate you to continue doing what you are doing. And then you always have to say, Allah, ya Allah, please take care of my heart so that I do not get riya, or do not get overwhelmed or cross lines with the more popularity, or bila orang puji kan, dia okay, baguslah your content, gini, you should do more. That's where you really have to control your heart, and then know that, oh no, you're not doing well, you're still basic. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot. Dia punya pujian lah, this, kadang-kadang rejection. Because before this, I was talking about the challenges is the rejection, right? I didn't talk about the challenges is the pujian. So there's another thing that you have to control. There's so many things. There's so many factors in social media, because social media just broke boundaries of a lot of things. So social media is challenging in that sense. But some people say it's dangerous. I don't think it is. It's just that to me, it teaches you to handle things faster, because everything comes faster. So people who are not able to handle are immediate. So because sometimes without social media, we will not face these problems as quickly as how we are getting it. Macam kalau dulu macam maybe sekejap-kejap in social events, then you'll get this kind of ujian. But then response, because then you have to test your nafs, you have to test a lot of things kan, the sense of rejection and all that. But now with social media, every single time you post, you get it at one shot, and a massive scale. Pasal orang yang tak kenal pun akan komen kat you. So it teaches you have to be strong to be able to know, okay, macam mana nak handle. So if you know how to handle it, inshallah it will just make you better. But if you don't know how to handle it, which I think a lot of people don't, you'll become depressed, or they're struggling with, you'll get depressed, you'll lose your way, stuff like that. Yes.
Maybe I nak tanya, is there any challenges ataupun feedback respon yang negatif yang broke you down? Yang macam, apa pasal ni? Macam you macam susah nak handle lah. Maybe boleh share sikit. Kalau tak detail pun tak apa. Just the feelings and how you overcome it, how you respond it.
No, alhamdulillah. Like, okay, so I have a group of friends who do the things that I do, and then they are more famous than me, and all that.
Consult them.
When I do post some controversial stuff. For example, things that I believe in. So I do post Islamic stuff, but I also do post political stuff, or things that people say are conspiracy stuff. Like for example, things on the vaccine. Those are my views. Okay, and then like things on Palestine, things on Gaza that I got myself in trouble for. I'm going to be very open here. I don't care anymore. So, but for example, when I post controversial stuff, and then my friends post the same controversial stuff, they get backlashes and I don't. And then my friend goes like, kau berani post benda ni? Why? Why berani? Because I think it's right, and I think their voices need to be heard. And then, but alhamdulillah, I think I've reached this journey whereby Allah has placed me in a position that the followers who do follow me are already in the same wavelength. So they are not shocked by my posts. So I do not get that much backlash as much as some of my friends. So I was like, dia kata, you tak kena rentang ke? Saya alhamdulillah tak. Aku rasa Allah followers aku dah macam about the same as me. Alhamdulillah. But when I first started, of course there were so many things that people attack me for, but that was earlier in my life lah, way earlier in my life, when I learned how to, when Friendster was first up, and that was the time when I was 18 tahun and I was going through a lot of things. So and everybody was still learning how to handle social media, right? So I faced a lot of those things on how to handle attacks and constant harassments on social media when I was younger. So I guess it has built my
Your
wall,
strength,
yeah, strength to overcome this. And but being very open, one of the worst things that happened to me recently, not that recent, quite recent, last year, was when last year during Ramadan around the same time, Gaza was being attacked very badly. Remember that time?
Yeah.
And so me being an activist and also I and my group of friends in Malaysia and some in Singapore, we started doing live sessions, and we do live in Gaza and showing all the bombings and stuff like that. But again, mind you, I'm always very mindful of the things I say. Tapi ada yang terlepas juga, pasal kita manusia. But I always do not post things to encourage people to act in violence. I always say, these are the things that are happening. I'm posting and sharing with all of you to tell you the truth that maybe the mainstream media is not showing, because the mainstream media can be misinformed. So now I'm showing you the live event of what's going on there, so that you all think for yourself and stuff like that, And then also I say, please, because some of them start asking questions like, macam, okay, so how do we respond to Jewish people? And I said, look, it's not the religion that is the problem. It is the people handling the religion. And not everybody who have the same label are the same. So if they are not involved in it, just be kind to them, because Islam teaches you to be this way. So don't go and attack a Jew in Singapore or go and attack a Jew in Malaysia. So that's always what I advocate, and I think my followers know that. But I got in big trouble during that period of time. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very open here. So these are the things I think as Muslims that I need to share, especially Muslim ladies, because sometimes we can be very passionate about things and then we post something and then we terperanjat. So I'm sharing this not as a complaint, but then if it happens to you, then you know that, okay, so this is how I handled it. So you asked me how bad it was. So I was contacted, I was interviewed, I was interrogated, I was accused of a lot of things, and wow, my heart broke. I was forced to stop posting anything about Palestine. Even till now, I cannot. And I was so heartbroken, because in my heart I said, if I was in Malaysia, this wouldn't happen to me. They would raikan me. But it's not what I'm looking for, But the point is, I wouldn't have been treated the way that I was treated. So then I thought to myself, I was really prepared to be jailed, and also like a headline to slander me, saying that a local Muslim female artist is actually doing this with terrorists. Although that's not true. I prepared myself with all these thoughts. And then I ask myself and ask Allah, Ya Allah, why am I being placed in this situation? Did I really do something wrong? Or is this an ujian? And if it's an ujian, because kalau ujian tu dia ada hikmah in everything that happens. There's always a reason, and it's not a coincidence. Nothing is in coincidence. So that's why you always have to sit back and then think, what is the lesson that you want me to learn? What is it that I did wrong? Did I really do wrong? Or is it you're telling me now to be just more careful, because just to wake me up, like, Elfa, if you continue on this, maybe then things will be harder and more dangerous for you. So I stop you here before things get further. Yes, it's painful, but I stop you here so you are more careful treading these waters. Or it's really because I was really prepared to be jailed and be slandered and be like in prison for 5 years and all that, and people don't know. People don't know if what's true, because they might, if the mainstream media post it, right, and then they will go like, betul ke Elfa macam ni? Kalau mainstream media post and she's injured, it must be true, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then I thought it was really, really depressing for a year. I couldn't function and I couldn't do my life. If you see now, I do lesser live sessions and lesser fundraisings and stuff like that, because it still has a slight trauma in my
Impact,
heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But then I thought to myself, kalau betul lah aku dianiaya macam tu dan difitnah begitu dan masukkan dalam jail, how should I feel? And then I thought to myself, even Nabi Yusuf pun masuk dalam prison. But that is not because it is against him, it is for him. So no matter how hard it will become, I prepared myself in that manner. Tapi Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah,
Tak ada apa,
it didn't go that way.
Yeah.
It didn't go that way. But things were still hard. It was so hard. It was so difficult to go through it, because they try to break you, and the amount of negative words that was extended towards you, and then you go like, I was trying to do something good, Ya Allah. How come I'm in the receiving end of such bad words and negativity and tuduhan-tuduhan yang merepek-repek? You know, what happened? So that was one of the most painful experiences. So in doing good, sometimes you can tell yourself, when the more you want to do good and the closer you want to get to Allah, the more negative reaction you might get.
Might get.
You might get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
ada
those one of the
soalan
worst.
ada soalan daripada audience. Okay, Sahila, I buka. What's drive you to continue doing what you're doing? Kira how do you, during your challenges during that time lah, I just say that moment lah, dia kan macam trauma kan. I can understand tau. Macam you boleh doubt tau. You boleh give yourself a doubt macam, apa ni? Macam am I that kind of person, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So selepas tu you jadi macam dah takut nak post kan, dia takut nak keluar kan. But sometimes it's a correct thing. So you just move forward lah. But how do you move? Ada selain daripada kawan-kawan a circle of friends, is there anything yang help you to move forward?
One is this thing that, berani kerana benar. You know, I love sirah. Okay, some people are Quranic people, they love the Quran. Some people love the hadith. I'm a person who loves the sirah. And so I do read a lot about the stories of the Sahabats and the Prophets, and I see the adversities they go through, and then how in the name of doing the right thing, they don't care prosecution.
Wow.
You know? So, but then of course we have to be smart. Be smart. Okay, listen guys, because when I say these things, you have to also be smart. You have to tread waters to be smart, because you have to, don't be like macam, Kak Elfa kata pasal kalau berani kerana benar, jadi kita buat je, kita berani je. Tak. You have to measure, because one of the things that you want is to get the goals met. Okay, this is the important thing, to meet your goal. So there are many ways to meet your goal. So if this way you hit a wall immediately, don't take that one lah. Although you go like, berani kerana benar, no, cannot. You have to know how to play with the situation and maybe pause for a while and then start again slow and choose another path. So, but the reason, the thing that drives me still is because there are voices out there that are not heard, and I have a voice and I feel that my voice is heard more. So I need to make that change one at a time. Maybe at first bila I post something, people tak nak dengar. Or people say I'm merepek lah, ni conspiracy lah, ataupun she's already gone too far and stuff like that. And then you start posting again and again. The more people start reading, people will say like, maybe she has a point. And then they start researching themselves. And then they start to attack you first. And then you counter it in a more positive way. And then after that, you tell them, read more, you know, and then you counter it again. So you have to set your intention right. Why are you doing it? Every time it goes back to intention. When you have the right intention, Allah will give you that extra push or that extra guidance, that extra energy. You ingat battery you dah flat pun, tapi you boleh pergi lagi. There are many times that I just say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, I just want to leave. I don't want. Why am I doing it for? Because during that period of time, they said that. So these are the things that make me doubt myself, and that self-doubt really, like you said, is true. They make you doubt yourself. So because they when they were interrogating me, they said, who in your circle of friends are doing what you're doing? And I say none. And then who are the asatizas in Singapore who are doing what you're doing? I say none. And then they say why? Then I say why they do something and why they do not is not my concern. But they say you're not an ustazah. You're not an ustazah. You're not qualified to do what you're doing. You may lead people astray. Oh, that really broke me. You know, they kata you syok sendiri. You do your content to syok sendiri, to satisfy your ego, and you don't care about the consequences that it might have on others. What if the things that you are saying about the people in Gaza cause the youth in Singapore to react in jihad and acts of terrorism? That's why the asatizas don't do it. Then who are you? Why do you think you should do it? Why are you doing it? You're wrong. You should stop. Wow, that broke me. That really got me thinking, maybe they're right. Yeah, I'm not an ustazah. Astaghfirullah, what have I been doing? You know, maybe I should stop. I should not do this anymore. And really, I just like, for a week, I was so depressed, and I really thought they were right. And so I was crying for a week. I was shaken. I didn't want to turn on social media. I didn't want to meet people. And I keep asking Allah, Ya Allah, betul ke aku ni dah macam, have I gone too far? Have I been like doing this for my ego? Yeah, you're right. I'm not an ustazah. I do not have the qualifications that you guys have. I do not have the knowledge that you guys have. So, am I wrong to do this? Why am I doing this? Why did I start doing this? You question yourself so many times. And then, then I called my ustaz friends. Then I asked, salah ke I buat macam ni? Is it I need to be an ustazah to be able to do what I do? Have I like pretended in any way to show that I lagi pandai daripada ustazah ke ustaz and all that? And then my ustaz and my friends and all said, Alfa, look, they're trying to break you. They're trying to make you stop. It's like shaitan trying to make you stop doing good things and then make you confused. And then they tell me, Alfa, you've been doing fine. We always pantau you punya apa yang you buat. If you are doing something wrong, we will text you immediately and say, Alfa, you're going too far. Be careful. Gini. So, I was like, tapi I take it as, I told them, tapi ni macam Allah tegur tau. Nothing happens by chance. And it's not by people. It's Allah tegur me. Allah tengah tegur ni. So, what is it that I did wrong? They kata, Alfa, so far you're okay. You check your intentions, right? You check your this, your that, right? Just keep strong, because when you're doing more good, a lot of authorities or a lot of bodies of people will try to attack you. Even if it doesn't have to be like, government bodies or whatever, or big bodies. It can be some small groups. So all of you will face a similar situation, but in different forms. So look at it as people trying to break you or stop you or discourage you from doing things, and then make you doubt yourself. But it's a good thing. I take it as Alhamdulillah. It makes me self-reflect further. Always look at the positive side of things. Yes, it's painful, it's traumatic, but that's how you can try to move further, try to make better choices, try to also control some of your content, because you kena tengok juga dekat negara yang you buat ni, diorang terima tak content you. It's awful that you cannot have the freedom, but that's how life is. Sometimes you just have to work with what you have. Instead of stopping altogether, work with what you have. It's yeah.
Ya, insyaAllah. Si Iridina dapat first hand punya first hand situation. I mean this is all
Yeah.
backdoor lah, backdoor in social
Yeah.
media. Kita
Yes.
tapi this is reality. Kita it's not as freedom as we think kan. Kita time
Yes.
kan we have the social media, we have the voice. We need to see the context, we need to see a way. Sometimes our way is not as straight as other people's. Tapi kita akan sampai kepada tujuan. Yang penting niatnya ikhlas, niat nak dapat ridha Allah. Before Edina tanya soalan yang terakhir, kita nak ucapkan terima kasih kepada anda yang sedang menonton. Bagi anda yang ingin menyumbang zakat kepada Madrasah Alsagoff, anda boleh pergi kat link di bawah ini ataupun pergi kat bahagian Paynow ini, atau anda boleh pergi ke Madrasah Alsagoff punya page dan tekan ke support us, dan mereka menerima zakat. Anda boleh beli kurma ataupun wakaf ataupun nak zakat, tapi mereka sebenarnya distribute to all the asnaf. Mereka sendiri, Madrasah Alsagoff punya management yang akan distribute to 8 asnaf. Jadi bagi yang macam curious, macam nanti kalau aku kasih zakat dekat madrasah, cukup tak, lengkap tak 8 asnaf? So no worries, mereka agihkan kepada 8 asnaf. Tapi secara tak langsung anda membantu pendidikan Islam, anda membantu operasi madrasah, anda membantu segala kelengkapan madrasah. Alhamdulillah, baru-baru ni mereka dah dapat siap lift. Macam mana Adina lift? Tak boleh guna tak? Boleh, student tak boleh guna?
Boleh.
Boleh? Student boleh pakai lift
Sebab sekarang kan kita pakai lunchbox untuk makan. So kita ada trolley. So for the classes on level 2, level 3 boleh pakai lift untuk kasih trolley. Jadi like send the trolley to their classes.
Ya,
Only for that reason lah.
Yes. Other than that, no.
Kalau only student boleh naik for that reason. Okay, ya. Pasal dekat madrasah, I difahamkan dulu before ada lift, sekolah tu, sekolah dah lama kan, dah 100 plus years kan. Jadi dia punya tangga dia steep tau. Jadi ada madrasah, ada asatiza yang dah senior, ada pernah terjatuh. Jadi pasal bahayalah. And also for those yang orang-orang luar datang, macam my father-in-law, dia banyak kali komplain, madrasah ni tangga tinggi macam dia naik susah. So that's why Alhamdulillah lah, berkat anda punya wakaf, anda punya generosity, dapat terbitnya lift ini. Dan ini auditorium macam mana musola, Edina? Okey tak sekarang?
Baru juga.
Selesa
Selesa.
Okay, kan. Soalan terakhir lah, Edina, last, boleh silakan.
Okay. So Kak Elfa, you know about our madrasah. So if you were given the opportunity to go back through time and be a student of the madrasah, what are the things you would do to promote Islam?
This is actually a very, very difficult question because I've never studied in a madrasah at all. I've never even go to like weekend madrasah when I was younger. So I do not know the things that you guys go through. I do not know how life is for you guys. But I do have madrasah friends and they do share with me that things are different. You know, I am honestly, genuinely happy with the way my journey has gone. But if you ask me, would I go back and then choose madrasah studies, then the study that the education that I receive or the journey that I receive, I wouldn't change it for the slightest. But if I have children, would I send my children to a madrasah school? Yes, I would. Because first and foremost, I realized that I have wasted a certain amount of my life focusing and stressing myself on knowledge that will not bring me to akhirah. So that is one thing. But in life, there's also a balance. So there is a reason why I learned the things that I learned and I excelled in the things that I excelled. Because there's always time for me to convert it and strike a balance. Because Islam is not just about the deen, it's also a balance of deen and dunya. So it's about striking that balance, right? So if I were to send my children to madrasah, I would tell them is because this time you'll be spending your time learning things that will bring you to the akhirah, that will bring you to Jannah, that will benefit you in the akhirah. And so the amount of time we travel learning things for the akhirah is pahala all along, you know. And to spread Islam, I think it doesn't matter where you are from. So even if you're from madrasah or from a normal school, it's about how you carry yourself. So Islam is not about spreading. Islam is not about how you look, what you learn. It's about adab and akhlaq. It's how you handle people and how kind you treat people, how you present yourself, the things that you do. Because a lot of non-Muslims or Muslims, like especially non-Muslims, they say when they look at Islam being carried by Muslims, they are fearful of entering Islam. But when they read it from the Quran and understand it better from the books, they see how beautiful it is. So regardless of where you are, what your learning background is, you have to always remember to portray what Islam is supposed to be like, and so that people look at you and they say, this is how beautiful Islam is, instead of what it normally is right now. So that's how I would try to spread Islam, by kindness, by akhlaq, by being smart and being neat, by not being too quick to attack people, by having husnuzon, by doing good things generally. But we are all people and we have different challenges, so do not judge. And also, one of the questions earlier, why do I do this thing that I do? Although, you know, wallahi, I'm not perfect. Wallahi, I have so much sins and I continue sinning every single day. And I struggle every single day to for self-motivation, for also a lot of things. I struggle with a lot of things because I'm just the same as you. I'm just the same as all of you viewing it, especially all you girls in Alsagoff. There are so many things that you guys are struggling with as females, trying to find yourself as teenagers. You know, you're trying to understand who you are. You're trying to find yourself in the society, and then you're madrasah girls, and then the society is not really linked to how, especially in Singapore, how madrasah girls are supposed to behave. You know, so you guys are struggling with a lot of things, and then there came social media. You know, so we are all trying to become better versions of ourselves. And then many a times we will take 10 steps forward and then sometimes 20 steps back because our iman goes up and down and our struggles are different. There can be like 4 years ago, my iman was so mashallah, and then now 4 years later, I look back and say, where am I right now? Why am I suddenly here? And that's normal. So what I would do to spread Islam is to really not judge others and always try to be the best version of yourself every single day from what you were yesterday, because the struggle is daily. You wake up and the struggle, it starts again, the war starts again, internally, externally. So I think the best way is to just focus on yourself and try to become a better version of you. And when you are focused on yourself, you tak sempat nak busykan diri dengan kesilapan orang lain. And then when you do that, and then you become this vessel of confidence, this vessel of calmness, this vessel of self-focusedness to be something better, and always set Rasulullah SAW as our mentor and our idol, you know, orang yang kita minat dan aspire to become. When you do that, I think you will be naturally spreading Islam every single day in the best of ways. Yeah.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much, Elfaeza. Iridin, ada soalan lagi?
Tak ada.
Tak ada Okey, alhamdulillah. Nak ucap terima kasih Elfaeza. Ada beberapa orang komen lah. Sapian Sapari, Zan Sofian lah. Allah musta'an dia kata. Kita. Suryani and Sanusi kata Jazakallah sister for speaking up for our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Although it is restricted in Singapore, alhamdulillah we can speak up freely in Malaysia and we will continue fighting for their freedom.
InsyaAllah.
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much. Baiklah tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, terima kasih kerana bersama kita pagi ini. Pagi Sabtu, pagi Sunday kan, bulan puasa, kan tengah tidur tengah harian. Tapi itulah kan, kesian Sister Elfaeza tersedak-sedak sebab kering kata kak tak boleh nak minum air.
Tak, because this is post-COVID cough. I recovered a month ago, but I have the post-COVID cough is dia kata-kata tekak tu belum hilang. Ya.
Okay, masya-Allah. Okeylah insya-Allah. Semoga Allah mudahkan, semoga diberi kesembuhan. Amin. Dan Edina, terima kasih banyak. You go through, you did well. Masya-Allah. You
Thank you.
You modify the soalan Kita bagi skrip tau, tapi dia olah balik. That's a very good lah, masya-Allah. Thank you very much. Tahniah. So, kita jumpa lagi minggu hadapan dalam sesi yang sama bersama guest yang lain tetapi student yang berbeza juga. Kita ucapkan terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you.